Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. LSU, as I wrote in my piece, there's no other way to put it, they spit the bit. They played terrible baseball in a 10-3 loss to TCU. Lenny, the concern isn't that they lost, although that's a concern. The concern is how badly they played. I mean, this is not the way you expect a team with experience, with this many players drafted, with these expectations, the highest national seed, to perform in the first game of a College World Series.
Well, you know, when we've talked about this before, you're asking people to do something that they haven't done before. And yes, that's a very talented team, arguably the most talented team in Omaha, but the few guys who were on the field 2 years ago didn't win a game up there. And the majority of the guys who were out there performing weren't out there. They haven't been to Omaha before. Most notably, Jared Poche on the mound. And it's not a knock against Poche. He was brilliant through the first 3 innings. Obviously, what happened in the 4th inning is nothing short of a meltdown, really, in how he fielded his position. It was interesting, by the way, to see the comments of Preston Morrison after the game about you don't lob a throw over there. That we've been taught not to do that. You either run and lob, or you throw it at least 80%, but you don't lob a throw over there. That said, again, these guys, for a lot of those guys, that was their first time in that setting. And Baton Rouge and everything, it's, deservedly made out to be with the crowds that you perform in front of, throughout your career, doesn't always prepare you for that type of setting. And keep in mind, this is a TCU team that was there last year. So you've got almost, with the exception of a couple of freshmen that are out there, those guys have all been there.
Sounds great. But as I started my piece with, no excuses. Just a very poor performance. And as you look at the last 34 years, only 3 teams have come back after losing Game 1 of a College World Series to win the College World Series. So the odds are certainly stacked against LSU. What does work in their favor is Cal State, Fullerton, and Vanderbilt got suspended. So they have to finish today, which is really going to benefit LSU. And LSU has an unbeaten pitcher in Alex Lang, awaiting whoever loses that game in Game 2.
Right. Certainly, it's unless Fullerton's bullpen implodes, I should say, it looks like it will be Vanderbilt and LSU in an all-SEC matchup in the loser's bracket on Tuesday. Of course, Vanderbilt can rally in the suspended game. But still in all, the fact that those teams have to come back and play today, it'd be interesting to see what Paul Maneri's strategy is on Monday. You've a lot. Do you give these guys some downtime? You're looking at the potential now of having to win 4 games in the next 5 days. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Do you give these guys some downtime, let them get away from it, take them to the zoo, whatever it is you want to do, get them away from baseball and just kind of loosen things up a little bit in advance of Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, I know they're making 1 appearance today, but we'll see. Bottom line is they have to play significantly better if they want to maintain their stay in Omaha. They're 0-3 at TD Ameritrade Park. They've scored 6 runs on those 3 games. They long for the days of Rosenblatt, don't we all? But that's long gone, so forget about it and move on. The New Orleans Saints have minicamp this week, 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, where fans will have an opportunity to see their NFL team, providing the weather is okay. That's a big provision, as always. And, of course, with training camp now elsewhere, this is a rare opportunity for the fans.
Right. The training camp schedule announced late last week. Basically, you got 1 week of opportunity to see the Saints during training camp. So these 3 days, and then the last week of August, and there's your exposure for the year, folks, unless you're a paying ticket holder to go down to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome and watch one of the 10 games out there. But, in terms of practices, these are your opportunities. So at least for Tuesday, the weather looks good. Who knows what may happen with this tropical system in the Gulf and how it may affect things in terms of rain and such. So Tuesday definitely looks like a good day to go check it out.
And just as a matter of advice, don't put much stock in what you see. Just enjoy what you're watching, and don't be too judgmental. It's a bunch of guys running around in shorts and helmets. It's okay, but enjoy it in the process. We'll find out more about them when they put the pads on for real and when preseason games do begin in August. It will be fun. The New Orleans Zephyrs on the road, finished a long homestand, struggling a bit. Now they're on for a 7-game road trip, starts in Round Rock, concludes in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, and what's interesting about what's happening now with the Zephyrs is, and we haven't really seen this a lot since the Marlins have been the parent club, but they're getting guys on rehab starts. We touched on it briefly last week with Jared Cozart. He'll make another start on Tuesday, but the most significant news is Jose Fernandez, who's arguably one of the best young pitchers in baseball, coming off of Tommy John surgery. He's going to start on Wednesday with apparently no restrictions, could go 70, 75 pitches at Round Rock. The way the schedule sets up, it's very possible if he makes a second start with the Zephyrs, it could be at Zephyr Field, also against Round Rock, come next Tuesday. So keep an eye on that situation. Certainly we'll have the latest on what's going on there. And, best of health to him as well as he tries to come back, from this injury. And we've seen guys do it successfully so many times as he tries to make it back to the big leagues.
Same old for the New Orleans VooDoo. They lost 6 straight. They got beat by a good team in the Cleveland Gladiators on Saturday night. They have a bye week this week, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that you do get 2 byes, but both of them come within a 3-week span and late in the season. They probably could have used one to kind of heal the wound, so to speak, a little bit earlier in the year, but now you're going to get 2 in a 3-week span. Won't be back home for another month or so, but just some downtime to get away from things a little bit before you get back on the field next week.
High school football, you can check out our prep football previews on a daily basis on the website as we continue to provide them to you over the weekend. Hope you enjoyed the ones that we had for you, including Dutchtown. On Sunday, you'll see John Curtis today, and we'll have a new one every day for you, so you might want to check that out and enjoy it throughout the course of our stay, running into the high school football season, which begins in earnest in August, late August, and, of course, the regular season in September. It's how we breathe. We enjoy it.
It's it's a way of life in Southeast Louisiana. High school football is huge, and there's no better place to catch up on all the action here at SportsNOLA.com.
All right, that is our weekend review brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and into the Florida Panhandle and growing. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Have a great week, Lenny.
All right, talk to you Friday.
He's Lenny. I'm Kenny. You're you. God bless you. Thanks for joining us.